and he had just discovered a problem with one of our e-commerce sites. And he said, well, I'll have to do a little more digging, but I think it could be fairly substantial. And I said, what do you mean by fairly substantial? And he said, let me get back to you. It was painful, I'll tell you that. You know, long before we had written down what our core beliefs are, I think the three of us and the rest of the organization was really focused on transparency and integrity. Ben called me into his office one day, and he had just discovered a problem with one of our e-commerce sites. The shipping calculations for these products that were going out were sometimes off by a few cents a piece. And it had been going on for a while. So he calls me back about an hour later, and we sit down, and he says, all right, I figured it out. The shipping calculations for this company have been off to the tune of $72,000. And we had this, the next part of the conversation is, okay, what does the client know? And he said, well, that's the thing. They may be aware that there's an issue, but there's no way that they could know the size and scope of it. And I picked up the phone and I called the CFO of the company, and I said, we have a problem. Explained to him what the problem was. And he said, oh, well, I'll have to get back to you on that. So we scheduled a meeting for a couple days later, and the CFO said, here's what we want to do. We want to split it with you. And the reason we want to split it with you is because we were aware that there was a problem, but we didn't figure out what it was. And you guys are such an important partner to us that we don't think you should have to shoulder all of that yourselves. And so we split it with them, cost us $36,000. That could have gone another way, and it could have been it was very painful. It could have been more painful for us. But it reinforced for me especially that you have to be honest, you have to stand by your word, you have to stand by your work, no matter what it takes in the long run.